The relationship between the United States and Russia has been one of the most complex geopolitical dynamics in modern history. From the Cold War's nuclear brinkmanship to today's simmering tensions over issues like Ukraine, NATO expansion, and cyber warfare, these two global powers have often found themselves at odds. But what would happen if this rivalry escalated into an all-out war? While no one wants such a conflict, understanding its potential consequences is crucial for appreciating the stakes of international diplomacy. In this video, we'll explore the possible scenarios, military capabilities, economic impacts, and humanitarian consequences of a hypothetical war between the US and Russia. Both the United States and Russia possess some of the world's most advanced militaries, with vast arsenals of conventional and nuclear weapons. The US boasts unparalleled air superiority, naval dominance, and cutting-edge technology, including stealth bombers, drones, and precision-guided munitions. Its global network of military bases allows it to project power anywhere on Earth. Russia, on the other hand, excels in artillery, missile systems, and electronic warfare. It has developed hypersonic missiles capable of evading current missile defense systems, as well as extensive experience fighting in harsh terrains like Syria and Ukraine. Additionally, Russia maintains significant influence in its near abroad, Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and the Arctic, a region rich in resources and strategically vital. A direct conflict would likely begin with cyber attacks targeting critical infrastructure, followed by conventional strikes aimed at crippling each side's ability to respond effectively. However, the real danger lies in the possibility of escalation to nuclear warfare, a scenario that neither nation desires but cannot entirely rule out. One of the gravest concerns in any US-Russia conflict is the use of nuclear weapons. Both countries are nuclear superpowers, possessing thousands of warheads capable of obliterating entire cities. The US operates a triad system: intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, and strategic bombers, to ensure second strike capability. Russia similarly maintains a robust triad, along with tactical nuclear weapons designed for battlefield use. If even a fraction of these weapons were used, the consequences would be catastrophic. A limited exchange could kill millions instantly, while radioactive fallout and climate disruption would devastate agriculture worldwide. Scientists warn of a nuclear winter, where soot from burning cities blocks sunlight, leading to widespread famine and societal collapse. Even if both sides avoided full-scale nuclear war, the mere threat of escalation would keep the world on edge, destabilizing alliances and economies globally. A war between the US and Russia would send shockwaves through the global economy. Russia is a major exporter of oil, natural gas, and raw materials. Disruptions to these supplies would spike energy prices, causing inflation and recession in many countries. Europe, heavily reliant on Russian gas, would face severe energy shortages unless alternative sources were quickly secured. The US, despite being less dependent on Russian exports, would still suffer economically due to market instability and increased defense spending. Trade wars, sanctions, and severed diplomatic ties would further strain international relations, potentially fracturing organizations like NATO and the United Nations. Politically, the conflict could redraw the map of global alliances. Some nations might align with either side, while others pursue neutrality or independence. Proxy wars could erupt in regions like Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, drawing in additional actors and prolonging the chaos. The human cost of a US-Russia war would be staggering. Civilians caught in the crossfire would endure unimaginable suffering, with millions displaced and countless lives lost. Cities targeted by airstrikes or missiles would become uninhabitable wastelands, overwhelming relief efforts and straining neighboring countries hosting refugees. In the event of nuclear exchanges, survivors would face not only physical injuries, but also psychological trauma, radiation sickness, and environmental devastation. Recovery efforts would take decades, assuming civilization itself wasn't irreparably damaged. No matter who wins such a war, humanity as a whole would lose. The scars left behind would shape generations to come. While the prospect of a US-Russia war is terrifying, it underscores the importance of diplomacy, dialogue, and mutual understanding. History has shown us that even the fiercest rivals can find common ground when faced with existential threats. By addressing grievances through negotiation rather than aggression, we can prevent conflicts before they spiral out of control.